You either use the internet for fun or you use the internet to grow. You're here to grow. Welcome to TRS Clips. I have a slightly random question for you. Do you remember the 60s?
I remember 65. I went to boarding school at that time.
Okay, like your childhood was the 60s.
Yeah.
What was your viewpoint of Pakistan then?
Like I told you the stories my father told us about two Pakistani Air Force officers who had been his commanding officers in the Second World War.
No, but did you look at Pakistan as a very powerful neighboring country?
No.
You didn't. Because the modern day Indian kid probably looks at Pakistan as an extremely weakened state.
Yeah.
When I was a kid in the 90s, I didn't look at it as a weakened state. I knew that, okay, the Kargil war is happening. These guys are a very strong rival. That's not how I view them now after I've got understanding through the show.
Yeah.
So my question to you is the 60s version of the same.
Yeah. So in 65, when the 65 war took place, and my father was very much involved in the war. So then you started realizing that, this is the enemy, we have just fought a war, our people have died. That's when the awareness of Pakistan started. I still didn't think it was a very strong state.
Okay.
But,
that's...
that it is definitely a thing which we need to be in war to. By the time we came to 71, then you realize that you've broken off half the country. Okay. So it's a totally different perspective.
Okay. Now, what was happening with this whole POK situation in that whole phase? Like, why is this POK situation even a thing now? What had happened then?
So in 1965, you see, you have to go back to 1947. In 1947, Pakistan had signed a standstill agreement with the Raja of Kashmir. It had signed a standstill agreement with Kalat also. But it broke that standstill agreement and sent in raiders. These Kabaili Lashkars.
Like terrorists?
Well, you can call them modern day terrorists, but they're the ones who Pakistan sent them to forcibly convince or merge Kashmir with Pakistan.
Like guerrilla soldiers?
They were not guerrillas, they were actually out and out,
soldiers?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, tribal, they were not trained army. It's not an army, but Kabaili, and Pashtun tribals were in any case armed to the teeth since birth. They were always fighting men. So it goes back to then, 47, 48, when this Kabaili thing took place. Then in 65, so this war lasted 48 till the truce came in 1949, when the UN passed resolutions about plebiscite and things like that. In 1965, Ayub Khan sent in infiltrators under Operation Gibraltar. I wonder if you've heard of Operation Gibraltar. So he sent up infiltrators that they will go and create trouble in Kashmir. And once again, we will be able to pull Kashmir towards. So that didn't happen because the Kashmiris, they identified these raiders, they were arrested and put behind bars.
This is a soft form of terrorism.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
And this has been happening since the 50s?
Since 47.
Since the 40s?
Yeah.
Great. Go on.
And then in 71, to take that argument forward, you had Al-Shams and Al-Badr in Bangladesh. These were again militia groups who were targeting Bengalis, especially Hindus.
Where did they originate from?
They were Bengalis, trained by Pakistan.
Got you.
So again, Pakistan has a decades-long history of terrorism.
Yeah, I mean, again, now I don't know if the modern day Pakistani has the same narrative, but
He doesn't know. Because in Pakistani textbooks, Operation Gibraltar is not mentioned. They treat it as 6th of September when India invaded Lahore.
Yeah.
They think the war began in 65. Actually, it began much before that.
Yeah. Very random question. Have you seen that meme of those kids going, I love Pakistan, I can sacrifice my life for Pakistan? Have you seen this? You've seen it, right? There's a kid that comes up and says, I want to be fighter pilot and destroy India or something like that. Is that the mindset right now that
This is what they are taught. This is what the films are made. And a similar one on the Indian children. Much more softer, talking about education, talking about all kinds of things. Indian kids saying the same thing. And you compare what Pakistani kids are saying and what Indian kids are saying, 180 degrees apart. So again, that's the mindset.
Every modern day Indian, and again, I know there are Pakistanis watching this, and this is where I think modern day Pakistanis and modern day Indians are not in agreement. Modern day Indians look at Pakistan as a big breeding ground for terrorism. I don't know if the modern day Pakistani looks at their country in that way because the government, aka the army, keeps denying it.
It's not so much, again, very interesting. There were a person who interviewed people in Pakistan and people in India. He asked Pakistanis, what is more important for you? Islam or Pakistan? Islam. Islam comes first, Pakistan baad mein aayega. The same question was put to Indians. What for you is more important, religion or India? They said, of course, India. Religion will come after India, then there's religion. So, this is a difference in the mindset. That for the Pakistani, he's been taught this, it is religion first and always. So, Pakistani is confused, is he a Muslim first or a Pakistani? Or is he a Pakistani first and then he's a Muslim? In the case of India, there is no confusion. We are Indians. We may have differences, but we are Indians first.
Yeah, 100%. Does the modern day Pakistani know that parts of the country are breeding grounds for terrorism? Do they know this?
I'm sure.
New clips released at the same time that a podcast releases. This is TRS Clips. Make sure you subscribe.